Hello and welcome to another See You Next Tuesday. See You Next Tuesday. Oh my God, showing my age there. See, I'm looking at the last. See you next time, even.
Never.
Right. Today it's myself, Ed1, and Seamus, our very own Ed73. Unfortunately, Billy can't be with us. Methuselah's a bit busy getting his grey highlights touched up because he noticed there was a bit of white showing through. Are you doing, Seamus? You vanished. Now I've just got the back of what? Oh God. See, it's probably he's gone off again. He was losing again at some game or other, and he's cut it off. Oh, is his electricity gone off already?
Hello.
No, he's back. Right, sorry. And today,
Hello.
if we actually can do it, if the diva has finished making his grand entrance.
Hello. Good
Have you
afternoon.
finished
Good
now?
morning.
Have you had your makeup done and that? Yeah.
Salutations, everyone.
Right, we'll start today. It's going to be Mohammed Kudus, who's joined Spurs from West Ham for around, was it 55 million, something like that? 50 million. But even though he had an 85 million clause in his contract at West Ham. But yeah, anyway, so what do you think of that move? Good one for Spurs, or?
I'm not quite sure where he fits in because when I look at Spurs, at least on paper, they have a Kulusevski who can play on the right or as a 8/10 hybrid. And then they have a Brendan Johnson who plays on the right, and at least stats wise was doing well for them last season. They also have James Madison as their how do we call it? What's number 10? Yeah. He was the number 10 for them side. Where exactly he fits in, but with a new manager, I guess we might see a few different new ideas.
Yeah, that's true. It does depend on what Thomas Frank wants to do. Do you think he'll go with the system he used at Brentford?
But that's the only data we have on him because he was promoted from an assistant manager. So we don't know whether if he's like Amorim with it to a three at the back system or like. But usually, I will be honest. I've come to find out that a lot of the managers who make the name with a three at the back system used to they just stick with that a lot more often than any other system manager.
That's true. They do tend to be the ones that stick. Yeah. Yeah.
Like the classic examples of the Italian managers. Either they just build the squad like that somehow, or it just seems like they can't really put. Like we've seen Conte try out four at the back system, but then we ultimately reverse back to three at the back. We've seen
Nuno
even
Espirito
with
Santo changed. Last season, he was using a four at the back most of the time.
Oh yeah.
You always have to have an exception to prove a rule, though, don't you?
Yeah. But even he ultimately went back to the three at the back system, even at Spurs within his month tenure.
Yeah, but I mean, at Forest, he's now using a back four, so. But that might be just the players he's got available. Because he hasn't really got any wing backs.
Especially with Frank, we shall see what it actually is. But I think it's a bit of a risky signing for Spurs. Don't you think so? Like, he doesn't have a clear position like in this starting 11 right now. I'm not saying he's a bad player and you won't get into the squad. It's probably a good thing that a 17th place team can sign a player from a team that finished higher than them.
Well, I was just thinking, it's not so much that I think he's a bad player, but I find that when I watch him, he's playing for himself rather than for the team. You know,
he's an excellent.
Fantastic.
Apply for that.
Yeah, but he's not doing anything about, he's not trying to win the game. He's just trying to play for himself. You know what I mean? He does magnificent skills. He's good dribbler and all that. He does some fantastic touches, but he doesn't. You never feel like he's actually giving a shit whether they win or lose or draw. Does it? You know what I
No,
mean?
I think we've discussed this like before as well when we were watching West Ham last season, but he shows the ability to single-handedly win the game for you, but doesn't produce actual significance on the game. Yeah, it's very nice dribbling past 3 or 4 players, putting off a 5-star skill move and everything, but you have to have some
Skill move.
substance
You play too much
on
FIFA,
start.
you.
Nah, I've unstudied it. I've unstudied it.
You just trying to be down with the kids, aren't you? Now Billy's not here. You know what I mean? You can talk like you don't have to talk like old people do, so Billy can understand. Because obviously myself being young as well.
I have to dumb it down for you.
uh,
Billy has a lot of experience, like centuries worth of experience.
yeah, Billy. That's a century's worth of experience on his own. He was there when they set up the FA, you know. He was the porter.
Well, I genuinely don't know where he fits in. Like coming back to
No,
Kudus, right?
I think it's just strange. And I've got to say, West Ham fans seem to have been up in arms about saying it was a cheap sale and all this kind of thing. I'm not really unhappy about it. But I look at them and I think, I don't think he makes them better as a team. And I think they're actually better off without him.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like when you're a fan, especially for West Ham, I generally struggle. Kudus has been there. When you are mostly in the back foot, then you see players that are like taking on a couple of
Pick
opponents,
up a bit, mate.
driving you 10, 20 meters higher on the field, and then you think, oh wow, he's good. Maybe if other players are as good, it would be better. But there's very little actual productivity from him.
Mm. I was looking at his.
I think I'm just gonna be like a broken record. I'll just come back and say like he doesn't have actual productivity out of him. Before end product is excellent. He isn't even your I don't care about my defensive responsibility. He helps a team out well enough for fair player, but every
Yeah,
time I watch him, like I see very incredible moments, but then
great
he
highlights,
just
yeah. I mean, I was looking at his
he-
stats though in the Premier
he's
League.
a poor man's Pogba. He's a poor
Yeah,
man's Pogba.
yeah. But I was
And
looking at his.
Pogba wasn't
Uh,
about producing.
But I was looking at his stats, and it surprised me because he's only made 65 appearances in the Prem, and he's scored 13 goals and 12 assists. And yet, you know, when you watch him, he just doesn't feel like he's got any end product at all. I expected it to be much lower, even though he's capable of much more. You know what I mean? His stats should be much higher than they are. And the other thing I find is he'd rather, you know, when it comes to tracking back, you watch him and he'll just give away a foul rather than trap back. He'll just trip someone rather than bothering, you know, rather than working back, making an effort. He'll just commit a lazy foul. But yeah, I was really surprised though. I think his stats, you know, is statistically that 25 goals and assists out of 65 appearances, that's actually not bad. So I'm surprised that I really didn't think they'd be that good.
No, I think it's like when you just break down the numbers, 25 goal involvements, 60 odd appearances. Not bad, especially when you consider he was playing for West Ham.
Mm.
But and there's a lot that it seems like he is left in the locker room.
Yeah, it just doesn't feel like he's got that many. When you've watched him, you just think to yourself, that can't be right. He can't have got that many. He just doesn't feel like he ever has an impact on a game.
Maybe he had a pocket patch somewhere to
Well, his first season, he was much better. Not last season, the season like last season. Obviously, he was very poor last season, but the season before he was very good. So maybe he's had a much better season. So maybe he got most of them in that. I didn't look at when they were; just looked at his Premier League stats overall. You know what I mean? So maybe he just most of them he racked up a load in a purple patch in the first season, and then the second season he was, as we saw, he wasn't good last season. It's just that, I mean, you could tell he didn't want to be at West Ham, couldn't you?
Maybe it's just his overall demeanor that
Mm.
came across that he thought he was better than West Ham. Because he like when you watch highlights of him, like watching in patches only, you can be fooled to think like this guy could be a replacement for a Saka, for a Salah, or someone that needs that kind of a player, someone like that. There was a point when I would have taken him at United for 50, 60 odd million because only sometimes watch highlights. He just looked incredible, but last season was quite a downer.
Well, he's got the, I
Maybe
mean,
a change.
ability-wise, physically, he's a beast of a man, isn't he? I mean, he's strong as an ox, and he's powerful, and the skills there, and the techniques there, everything's there, but the attitude.
I'm just looking at his stats, and he has the same number of games in Eredivisie. It's virtually got like the same goal involvements, like 17 goals and 9 assists.
Yeah.
That was before signing for this time.
So he got
In 65
24 in the
games,
Eredivisie and 25 in the Prem, and
no,
65.
26 in
Sorry, 26.
26.
Sorry, which?
That's an amazing translation when you just look at it because you signed a player who had 26 goal involvement and you got 25 goals from him at the same time.
Yeah, you
So
would.
what can you? West Ham can't complain. That's
Yeah.
actually very good translation. I thought he would have had a lot more goals, assists, a lot more contributions at the end of the season.
It's very odd because that is not what you'd think from the eye test would not give him such a high. The other thing with him, though, the other thing you've got to say is the other big issue with him is obviously he's African player, so he's off to the AFCON every 2 years, is it now? They keep changing it. I can never keep track of what it is. Is it every 2 years now, the AFCON? Or four? Have they
Yes,
actually gone to four?
I think it's in 2 years.
Yeah, and then they keep changing it from having it in mid-season to having it at the end of the season, then putting it back to mid-season and that. So confusing. Oh, sorry, am I boring you? Okay. It's the effect I
No.
have on people, don't worry. This is
So
what
it is,
happens. I speak
but
to them and I don't.
you cannot complain, man. Come on. The actual best player in the Premier League from last season is African.
So, do you think he'll be a success at Spurs? That's the big question. And is Spurs actually a
So
step up from West Ham?
what would make it what would make it a success for them? Because for a similar fee, there were players who had better numbers at least in the Premier League itself last season. Because he is coming cost in the same reason as Cunha did for United. And Bomo because it's pretty much a similar outlay, 55, 60, 65, somewhere. Like they've got twice the numbers.
Mm.
So what would actually what would make it a success? Now you can't even say a trophy because finally Spurs was
Yeah,
won last season
yeah.
already.
Well, what's the success? I mean, they've got to move it. They've got to be finishing higher up the table this season. That's important.
Yeah, 17 was almost that was almost too much of an outlier. Like, come on.
I mean, if the same trend had continued, though, you'd have to question why is he choosing to move to Spurs from West Ham? I mean, it's not exactly a step up. Yeah,
Champions League, maybe that's the reason.
mm. Yeah, true. This Champions League, and I suppose if you
There's
want,
a lot more money, salary.
mm, yeah, yeah, but West Ham play decent. Could play decent, but they're run by the poison dwarf who won't allow them to spend money because he's obviously
West
preparing his
Ham is
retirement spots.
an odd team, man. I can never completely figure out West Ham. Like honestly, I thought they would do a lot better last season, but then they struggled to even get past United and Spurs in the table.
That Lopetegui, appointment was an absolute disaster for them. It doesn't help that their recruitment is so bad because they're in such a mess. Because the problem they've got is David Sullivan thinks he's a football expert. He's not. He's a. He's just a. What's a nice way of saying gobshite? Yeah, I can't think of a polite way. He's a gobshite. You know what I mean? The Pawn Baron hasn't got a clue, but he thinks he's an expert, and so he keeps interfering with the recruitment. So even when they had that Tim Staten to do their recruitment,
Donald Trump.
interfering and picking the players and stuff. What was you saying?
So he's just another Donald Trump. Like he thinks, yeah, I know everything about this. Like there's no one who knows more than he. There's no
Yeah, no
one who
one
knows
knows
more
more
of
than
this.
Sullivan. Only the Donald, but the Donald's won the Club World Cup now, so Sullivan's got a long way to go to reach that level.
Oh, he even fought with him. You didn't see that.
What was that? I mean, why was he on? What kind of fucking knobhead do you have to be to put yourself in the middle of the celebrations like that and act like it's your celebration? I mean, that's just the brass neck on him. It is just that. It's beyond comprehension. So,
That's
it's the look on the
I
players. It's
I
the look on the players' faces. They
just
haven't got a clue.
Cole Palmer never has any clue, but
That's true. To be fair,
I don't
that's for Cole Palmer. That's just his normal expression. The confused look.
know. But no, but to be fair, or like to be very fair to him, like uh, no one was supposed to have any clue. That was
The
quite a
whole
thing.
thing, no, that whole Club World Cup, really bizarre. I mean, that where he had was it? Who was it? Which team was it he had behind him? And he starts doing an announcement of like they bombed some Syria or something, hadn't they? And he's got like the
Ah,
Bayern Munich team,
Juventus. No, it's Juventus. Timothy Weah and
Juventus,
Juventus.
that is it. And he just starts making an announcement about he's bombed somebody. And then, like, stood there thinking, they're in there. Oh, yes. Why have you included that? And you could see them thinking, oh, shit, it's bad enough having to meet him. Like, it's awkward enough without him doing things like that. I mean, how bad does that make them look and feel? So
It
awkward.
was something else. So we should get back to West Ham, who are probably never gonna play Club World Cup.
Mm, yeah, I think that's a fair assumption to make. So they've already won this 1966 World Cup, remember? So apparently,
It's
because
Bobby
two of
Moore.
their players were in the England team. Apparently, that means they won the World Cup. Honestly, that's one of the things that always like confuses me. I don't understand how that works, but yeah,
Oh well. By that logic, Man United also won a World Cup in
it doesn't count when you're Man
2024.
United. Uh, Oh, I tell you what other thing before we go back to West Ham, we've got to touch on Lazio of all teams. I mean, everyone calls, as we know, Nazio, they're known as.
Yeah, that's
Alex,
yeah. I think
we've got to mention them signing Benito Mussolini. And I do mean Benito because his name is Romanio
Romano,
Benito Floriano Mussolini, isn't it? Something like that, his
it's
full name.
Romano Giuliani Mussolini.
Yeah,
Signed him back.
he's the
Didn't even
great
sign him.
grandson of Benito Mussolini as well. And yeah, and he's not using it on his back now, is he? He's using is he using Florian M or something, whatever it is. Yeah, it's weird. Very weird. And he's of all things, of course, he's a right winger. I mean, he
This is what you call written in the stars.
It is. It had to happen. The minute he started playing football, he just thought he's got to sign for Lazio and he's got to play on the right wing. And I bet when they were signing him, they were thinking, I don't care if he's shite or not. He's Benito Mussolini's grandson. He's got the Mussolini surname. He's got the first name as well. We'll put him on the right wing. We don't care if he's any good. Could you imagine the shirts they'll sell to their fans? Because obviously everyone knows their their fans are. Should we say they're also fans of Mussolini? I mean, they're well known. I mean, they for the Elon Musk salute. I mean, they were, the
I was going to
salute.
reenact
Yeah,
Elon Musk.
the
I
Roman.
was going to reenact, but come on, my heart goes out to you.
It's just that is brilliant. That is one of the best signings I think of all time, isn't it? It's just that is you can't really top that, can you? Now that makes the Di Canio signing look just rubbish by comparison. It's just ruined that one. That was killed it because they've signed Benito Mussolini to play on the right wing.
It's supposedly he plays all over the right flank.
Yeah, we know he'll play on the right wing. It doesn't matter where he actually plays. Every commentator is going to have him as a right winger just so they can say it. The commentaries are going to be golden for their games for the rest of for this season. In fact, I tell you, I'm quite tempted to start watching their matches just to hear what the commentators have to say. Because every time he gets the ball on the right, there's gonna be so many opportunities to throw in some gags in there.
Okay, just stop.
Right.
Don't just off the top of your head. Who is the current Lazio manager? Can you name 2 players from Lazio?
Apart from him.
Yeah, apart from Mussolini.
Oh shit. I can't think who's at Lazio right now.
No wonder they signed Mussolini. They're gonna make headline news.
Yeah.
Now, come on.
Yeah, that's actually I genuinely think it was just one of those where they thought we've got to sign him, not for the fact that he's any good, but because it's a newsworthy thing and it'll get them splashed all over the back pages and the front pages and make them relevant.
Yeah, because after Immobile left them, who have they got? No one. There's no Milinkovic. I haven't seen them 2-3 years ago. Like their players don't even get linked to any big clubs anymore.
Yeah,
it's something to be relevant.
I mean, for me, obviously, the one I'd have thought of was Lucas Leiva, obviously, ex-Liverpool, and I love Lucas, but he's left them as well. He's retired, I think, if I remember correctly. Yeah, I can't.
I know a couple of players.
I can't think who they've got.
Pedro. They've got Pedro. They've got Alessio Romagnoli. I know.
Right, have they? I didn't know that.
They've also got Katali, they've got Isaacson. I know a couple of the players.
Oh, right. It's just that if I looked at their squad, I go, oh, I know him, rather than it just
Oh
they
yeah,
don't
you
come
you
to
just
mind
like,
as
oh, like
Lazio
this
players.
person named some of the top clubs like 5 years ago, and he played for
Yeah.
this side. Yeah, but they don't have players that even get linked to any of the bigger clubs, let alone like having actual quality players. So it's
I,
no wonder they had to go in for Mussolini.
but he's now the most famous player they've ever had. Gotta be. Gotta be the biggest
I
name
think
ever.
within a season.
Gotta
Just
be the.
imagine if he scores a bang, something worthy of a Puskas.
See, I'd spend my entire time, if I was going to be commentating on their games, I would spend my entire time coming up with gags based on Mussolini. Ready. Just, and that's it. And that's what I think every commentator is going to be doing, just waiting for a chance to throw in gags about him being on the right wing or anything like, anything related to the Roman salutes and the crowd, any of that. 10 minutes left. So, you would do. Anyway, we should go back to West Ham quick because we've only got 10 minutes left before this finishes. And we were actually meant to be doing this about West Ham and Spurs, really, was the point of it. I mean, Spurs, I just don't see. I think Thomas Frank's got a big job on there, and they brought in that Matthias Tell as well. He's another one that plays similar role. They just seem to have lots of players who play the same role. The only thing I can think of is that they've given up on Son and decided his legs have gone completely, and they're just keeping him around for his
I think
final year.
I think it's time for them to like accept that Son and Richarlison are not going to give them the goals, and
I,
Solanke isn't really
he's not good
a
enough.
top goal riser. So
He's not good
like
enough.
okay, like this is what brings me back to Kudus. Like for that money, you have a keeping hole in your squad that is goals. You don't sign someone who has goal numbers that are very modest, but even that looks quite outlandish for how he operates on the field. So they needed a reliable goal scorer. They didn't get a reliable goal scorer. With Kudus, you also like Spurs first time saw the rashness in his game. Like he had an altercation with Mickey Van de
Yes,
Ven.
with Mickey Van der Ven. Yeah, we stood. That's funny. The face. Who was it that posted up that video?
That's
Yes, Madison.
Madison.
Yeah, that's funny. For those who haven't seen it on, I think it was Instagram, James Madison posted up a video of him asking Van der Vel if he's okay with Kudus joining, and then there was like a clip of them two fighting in the game between them last time. Oh, that's yeah. But to be honest, players don't tend to carry grudges about things like that. I doubt it'll bother him.
I doubt it was something too egregious outside of the
Yeah,
bullying.
it wasn't particularly bad, was it? It was just a bit of handbags. And you saying about Richarlison, I'd already assumed he'd gone because he's just, yeah, he
Not,
hasn't been worth
not
it
only
next to him for ages.
not only has he not been good enough for them, he's also become massively injury prone.
Mm. Yeah, he was a strange signing anyway. He was never that good at Everton. I mean, he was okay for Everton level. But even there, he never scored enough goals. He never created enough goals. He just he works really hard, and he seems like a decent chap off the pitch, but he's such a bellend on the pitch that it's difficult to want him to succeed, isn't it?
Yeah, but when you say like with Richarlison, you could say the same things about Kudus. Like never really set the borderline in a club with lesser players, sorry, lesser pressure, lesser expectation and everything.
Okay, here's a question for you: who do West Ham replace him with?
It's a tough one. Maybe Sancho, Rashford, Anthony, Garnacho. Yeah,
Even if it's
Manchester
Suarez
one.
is
At
available.
the end of the day, I'm just here to make a sales speech for Man United.
Is that all you
That's
actually come on the
right.
pod to do? Because it's not working.
So you want a defender? I can give you a couple.
Mm,
Jacob fucking Bayern.
yeah, that's not really a defender. That's just a traffic cone placed on the pitch.
He could actually be no. If you look at his highlights from last season's Europa, he could actually be a very good option for a right wing.
In place of yeah, that one bit he did. Yeah. To be fair,
Harry
that was
Yamal.
good. Harry Yamal.
Yeah, he was the emergency striker for us as well. No, I don't know, man. Because they've got Bowen who can play, not okay, who plays on the right.
I tell you, they might be able to replace him with if he carries on the
Harvey
trajectory.
Harvey Elliott might be a decent option for them there. Someone who can play like right sided attack, mid center mid hybrid role.
But I was just thinking, I tell you, it might be an option for him if he carries on the way he's going. We mentioned him just a second ago, Lamine Yamal. So you might be getting,
Oh,
the way he's going. He might not be the superstar he's thought of as at the moment. He's on a slippery slope, that boy, isn't he? In case anyone
yeah.
hasn't heard about him and
Well,
his I'm just gonna, what do you say that's not offensive about? See, I always call like most of my friends in the Philippines, they're really short. I just call them hobbits.
it's
So like they don't mind that. Like, but what do you say? What do you say? Because he's there, they were. It's not dwarves anymore, is it? That's one of the terms they don't like, isn't
little
it?
people.
Little people, yeah. It's midgets and dwarves they don't like, isn't it? So yeah.
No,
Anyway,
dwarf. No, listen. Okay. At least with dwarf, you can say you're just referring to someone with dwarfism. That is a very
yes.
good
So that's
condition.
okay. But if they've got dwarfism, right? Got
No,
you.
when you say midget, it's very like it just sounds demeaning and
Right, got
offensive.
you. Not a problem. So I mean, it's what bothers them, not me. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, it's not up to me what's offensive to them because it's not my decision. It's not me that's being insulted. So if it's, I'm happy to go with whatever they say bothers them. You know what I mean? Anyway, so little people at this party, basically serving drinks and stuff and being the entertainment, which people have said is really offensive. But it's also like, I mean, it was just a bunch of Instagram models, shall we call them, but they had to be escorts. When they were hired, they had to be willing to be escorts. And they also had to have a certain cup size in their bra. They couldn't be under they had to be over a certain size, shall we say. So, yeah, so well endowed Instagram model
I
hookers, basically.
now I know he's the talk of the town. He's like everyone's favorite
Just like, it
child
must
and
be just
everything,
for
but
you. You must be
he should.
thinking, no, it's just normal, isn't it? That's what you do every weekend, isn't it? Have these parties with the Instagram models and that.
Piss off. What kind of party does this guy do? The only thing I drink is water and milk, but not from the trees.
Is it Nestle water?
Nah, there's a guy I want to punch. I don't condone violence, but
Unless it's
I
against Nestle.
against Nestle, I will be honest. Outside of I should
No,
I shouldn't say this
we
on
should.
here.
I think we should leave this here now before we get carried. We've got completely off topic as usual. We've managed to, even though we're on a shorter time limit than usual. I'm running out of time already. So anyway, yeah. So West Ham, we think
No,
actually have
how how do
probably got a bonus getting rid of him and getting some good money for him. And Spurs, we just can't see where he's going to be used. The use him by.
replacement for him? Like, I genuinely think if they can get him, Harvey Elliott might be a good option for them. He's a similar profile of a player, physically a
Hmm.
little less gifted, but I think Elliott is a similar type of player for them to look at. And outside of that, I don't know who they can realistically get in.
Yeah, but we got to send it now because it's going to run out of time. So, well, thank you for, I was going to say listening then, but it's watching, obviously, now. I forget we're on this newfangled, thing where you can actually see each other. So, thank you for watching. See you next time.
I'll see you next time. Bye bye.
Bye bye.